Well, many blessings to you guys. How are you? It is February. What is today? February 12th. I hope that you guys are doing well. I have to start off that way and say, like, I don't even know what day it is today. I bought myself a computer 2 weeks ago, and ever since I got it, the hour and the date daily change. And so you'd figured I'd be prepared by now, but I keep looking at the lower right hand corner, forgetting that it's just not accurate. How are you guys doing? I have been meaning to come on and to connect, and I found myself with a little pocket of time and just really felt inspired to chime in and see how everybody is doing in February. Love, vibration, Valentine's around the corner. And of course, another auspicious day. I think in the last video that I did, I may have mentioned, at least from my perspective, like my spiritual space, um, how 2 2020 was a gate opening preparation. I feel almost like, well, I've heard a lot from many of the beloveds, sort of like a little bit of anxiety, like almost like a nervous energy. Um, and I have actually felt it myself, something new that I'm not used to experiencing, at least not recently, almost like an anxious anticipation of sorts, like almost like when you're getting ready to do something, like something big. Um, and I found myself having a discussion about that today, and I was wondering, how you guys are doing, and just kind of like wanted to share my perspective on it. I think this gateway that began on 2/2 and that commenced on 2/2 and goes through 2/22 uh, is almost like the last, you know, poof of energy before we find ourselves truly engaged in that new ascension field, and we've been there, but it's almost like something is going to be removed or we're going to be completely unveiled, or have an awareness of sorts that we're really standing to a great degree in our own essence, in our own empowerment. And I think that that's maybe why part of, where part of that nervousness or anticipation may be happening for some. Maybe a sense of not feeling quite ready yet, to take the stage, so to speak. Um, Hesitance, fear, um, all those emotions that we have, especially when, we're preparing for something big. The way I've been handling it is by just kind of reminding myself that, in spite of whatever big awakening or, door opening that's coming, that this is what I've really been preparing for most of my journey, that yearning, that desire, um, to be of service, to be expansive, and yeah, I have no idea what it may be, but I'm excited, and I'm ready, you know. And so if anybody is resonating, excuse me, with sort of feeling a little bit of anxiety, of nervousness, and is in resonance with what I'm sharing, try to take a couple of breaths and to remind yourself that you have been preparing as well for, whatever amazing divine opportunities, doorways, collaborations may be just around the horizon, um, and that it's all really good, and just being gentle with ourselves because again, we're our greatest critics, right? We're always like hammering ourselves, I can't do this, I can't do that. And I think putting down the resistance, and reminding ourselves that this is what we came here for, it's interesting because I'm constantly reminded, myself of the resistance that I place in my own growth and expansion. And, may sound like a hypocrite. I teach so many classes, I speak, I write books about this, but no, you know what? We're our greatest critic and our greatest enemy sometimes. And anyway, last week I was teaching an apprenticeship class. I'm in the middle of teaching an apprenticeship class, and we were assigning, gifting shamanic names to the tribe. And it's a big tribe. It's 10 members, and so I was guided to pick. I received um, 12 names. There's always extras, um, and I just walked around and allowed every student to just select whichever envelope they were inspired to choose. Each one of these envelopes had a name for them. And as I held the last two, I don't always select one during this process, but for whatever reason, I was guided to, yeah, you need to pick one. And anyway, the tribe opens up their shamanic name, and each name has a representation of what the name is about. And a lot of them, of course, completely resonated with the meanings of their names. Some of them cried because it has such a resonance. And so I'm standing there with my envelope, and the tribe is waiting for me to reveal my name, for that shamanic tribe and the meaning of the name. And I open it up, and the name is Aymala, which is beautiful. And the representation of the name, a teacher with discipline, to be a teacher with discipline. And it was beautiful, and all at once, it brought me to an awareness that I resist that as much as I love it. It's almost like I'm truly Sybil, and that I cannot tell you how much I love what I do. And then there's another aspect of me that says, yeah, but I'm done. I've done it. I've done this. I've done that. And obviously I haven't, Interestingly enough, and I hope that this serves as a message that people are always a catalyst, and always, if we're open, we can hear the messages and connect the dots. Interestingly enough, prior that same day, but prior to handing out the envelopes, one of the students uh, came, arrived, and as soon as she walked in, she said to me, you have to come out to New York and teach. She is a teacher in her own right. She teaches classes in New York. And she said, you have to come out and teach the people that I teach, and other people, you have to come out into the masses, she said. And so that was almost a prelude to the name. And what I discovered from all of that was I had to sit and say, where am I resisting this? What is it that I feel, because I'm constantly saying, I've done that, right? Uh, where am I resisting it? And interestingly enough, I did find a place. And again, sharing, hoping that this somehow speaks to you, or you may be able to identify, something that you may be resisting or limiting, because it definitely was for me. As I sat with, okay, what do I need to teach? I realized that for as long as I've been teaching the shamanic apprenticeships, which is about 20 years, uh, I was gun ho about teaching them in a tribe setting, um, because that is the traditional way. There is so much to be learned and experienced from the tribe members, and just the collective energy. Uh, and it was just an innate uh, belief, or conviction, rather say, that I had, that it just could not be done any other way. And as I found myself contemplating, what is it that I'm resisting, or what is it that I need to teach, I realized that with expansion, as we are leading, or will have led, into a new dimensional paradigm, that expansion means exactly that, that there's certain things that we may may have felt that we needed to limit or, could only get to a certain degree, but now we need to consider that we're in a more expansive space, and now everything that we conduct, anything that we are a part of, is also being expanded. And anyway, what came to me was I need to start offering these shamanic apprenticeships remotely, uh, and allow others around the world to be able to experience it and not limit them through my own limitation, you know, of feeling that it cannot be accomplished, unless we're face to face and in person with the tribe. And so I sat with that with a little, for a little bit, and to make sure that it resonated. And I'm happy to announce that I have put together a remote apprenticeship that begins in April. And I'm really happy. After all was said and done, I was, like I said, yeah, I get it now. And so part of the message or the sharing today is, allow yourself to be an observer and see, even in our vast awareness, right? Uh, Something that we may be limiting within ourselves or within a project, a calling, and saying, like, no, I can, or it can only be done this way or that way. And to really take a step back as an observer and see, is it really limiting, or is it us putting, our own take on it of, yeah, it is. And in essence, really not allowing ourselves to expand in this very expansive paradigm that we're in, right? And so I hope that that spoke to you in some way. Uh, and of course, I am excited about the remote apprenticeship as part of what I wanted to share as well today, because I know that Loon and I miss Loon so very much. Um, it's one of the things that she really highlighted in our time together, how much the apprenticeship helped her to expand to, just see at another level. And that is the case. Excuse me just for a second. I'm just going to shut that off. I'm sorry. Uh, how it has also done that for so many students. And so I know that over the time that Lou and I were working, and even recently, I've had some inquiries about that. And so I will put a link where you can find out more details if that is something that resonates with you. But you know what? I am sitting with Oracle, something that I haven't done in a very long time. And I just want to pull a couple of cards just because we are in prelude to this amazing gateway 222. We're going to call upon the guards, or the guides, or the celestial beings, the cosmic energy, and of course the Mother Earth, to bring us clarity, to open up the gateway for direction in any way that any of the beloveds who are listening or viewing may need. I'm feeling ready. Yes. Pull a couple of cards. Suffering in silence, not one of my favorite cards, but of course we honor all the cards that are revealed in the oracle. You know what I feel here? Sort of like lost in direction, sort of like giving up and, trying to figure it out, like where should I go? And not having many resources to guide you in that direction, Um, yeah. If this is something that's speaking to someone, sometimes in our quest to discover something, we may actually overstimulate that, or the frustration itself is an energy that can actually block the clarity, So sometimes, surrendering, there's a fine line between being proactive, doing the work, conducting the rituals, setting the intentions, and then letting it go. If we go on overdrive and, try to persist in getting the answers to something, then we may actually block it through that energy of frustration. Um, I don't know. I just feel loneliness here for some reason as well. And so, you know, sometimes spirituality or, being in awareness can be a lonely place in that not everybody that we, families, friends, may necessarily resonate with our way of thinking, of awareness, of being. And it can't be a lonely place. Reach out to people. There's so many groups, social media, private groups, meeting places. There's so many people who do speak this language, uh, join a class, reach out to someone who you know is going to be, of like mind. We're never alone. We're never alone. Yes. The power card, I feel the Lionsgate energy here so very prevalent. And, even though it's not a Lionsgate, this triple two that's coming up, it is being navigated, if you may, or harnessed in great part by the Syrian energy. Why? Because they're our guardians. And so feeling that superpower of, intuition, the Syrian energy can be very powerful. So sometimes it may make us actually a little lethargic, a little fatigue. It's almost like we need to feel that fatigue or need to take a rest in order to be able to assimilate the energy that's coming through. And a lot of times when I say that to someone, they say, like, well, how do I know? Like, how am I going to know? We don't always need to have a recall or a conscious memory of downloads or insight that comes through. As a matter of fact, most of the time we don't have a conscious awareness of it. But trust me, that it will come out, at the right time, at the right place, with the right individuals. If you're having a conversation, if you're a healer, if you're a counselor, it doesn't matter in your writing, it is going to reveal itself. And, maybe you may have an awareness and say, like, I don't know where that came from. Or maybe you won't, and you will still be able to successfully deliver whatever insight we receive if it was meant for others. And if it's meant for you, then it's going to make you aware of things and it's going to lead you and guide you in certain ways. Yes. The empowerment card, feel your power. It's a great time to work on self love, self worth, um, self declaration, of our empowerment. Ooh, and of course, the spiritual union card, the relationship card, um, complementary energies. We're just about a few days away from Valentine's Day. Harmony, you know, uh, if you're in a relationship, it's a great card to say that there's some type of harmony of like-mind vibration you know, in the relationship right now. If you're not in a relationship, then I feel very open, to receptiveness to receive um, this energy of a complementary energy that can vibrate, and complement you in a harmonious relationship. Definitely based on spirituality, that chalice. Chalice is about spiritual unity, sanctioned by the divine. And so definitely a spiritual relationship. And, that may be a clue as to whether you're in it, if you are sharing spirituality or if there may be somebody else coming, you know. Love that it's in reverse, trapped in fear, coming out of your comfort zone, finally being able to be comfortable in your own skin and not being afraid of what people are going to say, what they don't say, just being authentic and stepping out of, things that were limiting, um, and finally being able to stand in your foundation of assertiveness and of truth. Yes, do one more. And of course, maybe corny, but no, the crown chakra card. Be very aware, be very open. If there's ever a time when we need to connect, we need to be anchored, we need to be talking to our guides, we need to be talking to our angels, doing our journal writing, doing our rituals, is now. Because again, we are in the peak of this amazing ascended gateway that began on 2-2, that goes to 222. Time for miraculous epiphanies, for, answers from the divine, miraculous intervention, uh, just insight. But we need to be plugged in. This is just not going to happen. We need to be plugged in, and how we get plugged in, right? Meditation, taking quiet times to just be with yourself, contemplate, intentional, deliberate walks, just taking in nature, taking in the breath, just being and feeling the presence of the divine, of the energy around. Try to do walks by yourself. There shouldn't be any chat, chit chat with others if it's possible. This is just like really inner connection to just get refueled and replenished, because something amazing is here. It's not coming, it's here. And this time is for us to really fortify ourselves so that we can have the energy and the vitality to walking into these amazing new dimensional fields and take on those amazing new projects and opportunities, right? And relationships and all that. Yes? So I hope those cards spoke to you in some way. I know that they did for me, and it's always wonderful, right, to receive a little guidance. You know how I love to hear the comments. By the way, I realized that the last few videos that I recorded, I didn't receive any comments, and I took a look, and for some reason, the last two videos that I posted, uh, I think it's that new children's. I'm not really sure which I'm supposed to pick. And so I'm gonna really take a second look before I upload this video. But I'm really sorry that you guys weren't able to post anything. I saw that it was disabled somehow. And so, but of course, I love to hear the comments. If the reading spoke to you, please let me know. And as always, I send you my love, light, and peace. Until next time. Love you guys.